Yes, I was slightly delayed, so I'm sorry for the delay. There has been lots going on in the last 24 hours for me. This Cancer eclipse energy that's continuing forward has been super interesting. I shouldn't have spoken too early yesterday because, yes, there were a few tower moments on my side of the fence which prevented me from coming to you guys live. But I'll wait for people to connect. We're going to tune into the Taurus energy for July. And again, what I'll end up doing is extra videos for the astrology, extra videos for support, and regular check-ins for the twin flames. And then by August, everything will be back to normal. I am still set up for bookings. I've had to talk to the website a little bit, but we're going to tune into the Taurus energy of what's coming through for July. And again, as I mentioned, I will do regular updates connected to the twin flame path and the astrology and what's coming through in a psychic download. For those of you who don't know, I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame. I am a twin flame whom is in union. If you're needing coaching on that, click the link below, and thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. The actual likes of the video are what circulate the videos. And definitely for the YouTube community, those that are in New Zealand and Australia are having the issues with their YouTubes at the moment. So that really does help our channels grow. For the life of me, I don't know why, but that's what's been happening. Now, with the Capricorn Cancer energy, although the energy has already occurred for many of us, most of what's going on is still moving through, so it's still going to be relevant. The card that you've got coming through that's crowning you at the moment, you know, there can be for some Tauruses where you're reflecting back to what the truth was, what it wasn't. There can be also, you know, coming to an end and some things coming to the surface. This can be where some deception was. So some things are going to really come to the surface. And again, it could be connected to a male energy, a masculine energy, especially with the triangle pointing upwards in the upside down position, which is usually deemed masculine frequency, upright feminine energy. Now, intuitively, you might be tuning into something and you're meditating upon it, and you're kind of you're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together in your mind to understand why. And I'm hearing detach. Oh God, I walked out the back. We have horrendous winds due to the Neptunian energy. Frequency is very funny at the moment. It ripped my pergola to pieces. And I was like, let's do some astrology. So I've got the cup prepared, and that will be the next thing I do. But with the Taurus energy coming through, you know, something's coming to an end, something's coming to a close. So anything of a toxic nature that you've been waiting for. And even for us looking at the planet Uranus, it's like the spiritual sense of things. We're wondering, you know, in the past, all this deception that was going on, is this continuing on in a storyline? Because each zodiac sign, a placement within astrology of what we're looking at, you can go to that video on this occasion and actually look at the overall crowning energy. And that's really what we're dealing with in a spiritual sense. So all of us collectively are looking at the bigger picture of what we're wanting to grow. And some of the pitfalls in the journey, some of the things that we were lying about, some of the deceptive karmic frequencies, and wondering what's going to happen. Well, at the heart of it, yes, this is an ending, and this is really what July is about. This has been going on potentially for 3 years, but it's really amping up and squeezing into a very condensed space at the moment. Moving forward, a lot of the things that are going to come up can be pain body experiences, cheating, infidelity, third-party energies, jealousy, trigger points. It's a unique purge, okay? This can be just within Taurus's life, but it does feel connected to the collective as well in a spiritual sense, where potentially we have spread ourselves too thin, given too much energy to people, places, and things that don't directly relate to us, and cheating ourselves out of people, places, and things due to a belief system and a paradigm. And I do feel that energy is completely shifting. It'll come up to be disconnected, but I'm going to pull clarifiers to continue on of what's coming up for that, because I feel that energy is quite relevant to, for a lot of people, you know, where we're going, what we're doing. A lot of delusions coming up. And I do feel some of it is connected to the moon, but some of it is very much connected to previous cycles. And they're circling around and they're ready to, some of you might be from an ego point of view, very triggered and feeling as though life is sabotaging you. Others of you are purging that factor, understanding the reasons why, having faith in the 5D, and very much getting to a place, because it is crown chakra. When you're looking at that planet, it's crown chakra activation. Get into the 5D. Get that. Everything happens for a reason. And trust me, I'm struggling with that. Because when you're tuning into the 3D energy and you're looking at your direct dynamic in life, it can be super frustrating when you've been going through a transformative state for so long. Completely natural. Completely natural. Okay. Some of the things that are going to come up. Interesting. 2 cards. Okay, thank you. Okay, so any deception connected to a romantic connection or a twin flame soulmate? Who?
Hello.
I'm on YouTube. Mercury. Say I'm working. Oh, love of God. This, I'm telling you, it's bipolar activity, this transit. Somebody's at the door. My daughter's home because her... I'll be 5 minutes. This is very interesting. Because we have a storm, they're checking the trees at the moment, and we have a person at the door for it. She's a cracker. She's a cracker. She's a pain in the butt too.
I handled that like
Thank you.
I was hello.
Do you want to say hello to the YouTube community?
Hi.
She says she handled it like a pro. God, she's my bloody daughter, isn't she? Thank you. Okay.
Okay. It was like, I'm going to take the palm down. I was like, why are you asking me? Just take it fucking down.
Language warning.
Sorry.
What, the whole palm?
No, just some of it so we don't get electrocuted and die.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I just saved all of our lives.
Okay, can we go back to the reading now? We're on YouTube and No, I'm interrupting them now and you're being ridiculous. Don't close it all the way because it knocks the internet out. Come on. I have more people moving in and I'm like, how am I going to manage this shit? Get back to the reading. Okay, so the energy of what's coming through with the deception, you know, a lot of what's coming up could be a purge with you energetically with a spiritual person. So with the past, looking back what you would wanted it to be, how you wanted it to be, things that didn't come about, the sadness connected to that. Almost like the funeral of that, but it's like the old story versus the new story. And the way we talk about this in astrology at the moment is very much connected to the fact that we're in many realms at the moment, but we're in the eye of the storm, and there's a storm currently outside as we speak. So we're reflecting back and holding the energy of the past. We're reflecting forward and holding the energy of what is the potentiality of the future, completely blind in that frequency, because can we vibrationally move away from that frequency to alchemize what it is without knowing completely how to get there? The toxic aspect of things is coming to an end. And, you know, it was the devil now is not that it hasn't ended. It's ending. It's the fair-based frequency that it's going to remain the same because it's been so bloody long, okay? So it's the fair-based frequency about that. When it does come to any third-party energies, interference, spreading yourself too fine, feeling that you're selling yourself short, spiritually speaking, you've got this as a clarifier that whatever happened in the past is the past. Whatever comes up is a pain body experience. There can be separations, divorces, you know, rejigging of the puzzle to reach a happy union place. So this can be letting something go. And the funny thing is, in order for you to have a happy ending, it can be for those of you in general collectively, because this is the transit of Uranus at the moment, as well as for Taurus individuals, or depending on if it's your rising sign as well, obviously it's going to relate. If you've got documentation that you need to end, realizing that you need to transfer over and proceed forward, do you need to finalize these things? You know, is it a divorce? Is it making a decision? Is it just the pain body experience of detaching from that and believing that you are in fact entitled to have a beautiful new beginning with this new story, be it with this direct person or with whoever universe is bringing for you. It can even be your twin flame soulmate, but especially connected to who you're thinking about, okay? Because that's going to be the most relevant point. With the Capricorn frequency and the Cancer, with Cancer coming through, a lot of what can come up is listening to the frequency of what's true and what's not, but trusting your psyche. If you dance in the 3D, what may come up is just hearsay, and which is really relevant because on the shadow side, it's the Capricorn frequency, which is theoretically the devil card, and it's already come up at the heart of the read with the spiritual sense. You know, so at the heart of the matter, getting to that spiritual sense, you know the spiritual connection, you know where you're going spiritually. But if you dance in the 3D, you could be getting triggered by what's going on. The karmic frequency connected to that is it's causing disillusionment. It's causing fear-based frequencies. And again, the moon has come up a few times. And again, this is the moon aspect of things connected to Cancer. So it could be potentially bringing up a lot of crap connected to families, third-party situations, your belief system about your mother and your father and feminine energies. But you're moving away from that, you know, detach from that. The lesson is, if you're unsure, don't proceed forward, wait, because by mid-month you are going to get more clarity, because the Capricorn frequency, moving from the 16th onwards, things are going to become more clear. So it's just trying to stay grounded and anchored in during the eye of the storm, because that's really what it feels like. With the Capricorn frequency, again, moving through ascension, gaining clarity, taking something to that next level, things starting to become more consistent. The karmic frequency to do with that is, don't be indecisive. Don't romanticize the past. You know, move forward to the future. There may be infinite things coming towards you all of a sudden, but you're not going to be able to do them all. Don't be your own worst enemy, okay? And all of these could be great things, but don't, you know, if you're wanting to get something off the ground, with the Mercury retrograde, with the communication, the distortion, the delay in journeys, because it's connected to journeys, technology, communication, Neptune retrograde, you're going to gain more clarity about what's real, what's not. The two eclipses are going to do the same thing. The pain body experience is coming up, the dissolving of those factors, the reshifting of the pieces of the puzzle, and what you feel with you being after the fact is going to be relevant to you. So who are you now after the fact? Was it merely a pain body experience? Was it merely a trigger point? Were you getting disillusioned by your movement forward? And the Fool card is the infinite potentials. It can be a very frightening experience. It's a beginning stage of something, especially when you look at the degree point in astrology. When you see 0, it's that new cycle. And Venus moving into Cancer was moving from 0 and amping up to the Capricorn eclipse, okay? So it's moving very quickly through Cancer. So it's still bringing those things up, pushing it towards the Capricorn frequency of accountability, but looking back and forward of the shadow aspect of things to actually make that final decision. At the heart of love, what you're going to find is, you know, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of drive, spiritually speaking. If you're moving towards the things you're passionate about, and you know who you're passionate about, regardless of whatever's coming up, stay anchored in and grounded, because this is how you feel about them, okay? You can be two things, and there could be two things coming up. Am I emotionally bankrupt when it comes to this situation due to trigger points of the past? 7 is also connected to spirituality. It's also very much connected to your mindset, your spiritual beliefs, Gaia, your crown chakra. But it can be on the lower frequency of it. Are you repeating the same storyline mentally? Because if you are, you're recreating that cycle because you haven't purged it up here yet. But if you can, you're going to detach and you'll be able to attract the correct vibration. And it's crucial that we do that right now. It's very hard to not continue to repeat that story inside yourself when you're being triggered on the external of similar scenarios coming in. But it's taking you back to a pain body experience, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, or in the 3D, to detach from it and trust the process of what this education is going to be. It's only in a short pocket of time that you're going to have these psychic downloads. So it's not forever. It feels crap, I know. For your counterpart's energy, it is going to be a change for the better, okay? So some things are shifting, but whatever they have to go through, it's going to be for the betterment of this connection. So try not to get triggered by what you see, sense, or feel, especially if you feel it's D-Day, because they're stepping into their power. You, Taurus, and for those of you looking at your spiritual path, even if you're not talking, be that vibration, because it's crucial that you do that and see this situation through, see this month through. Try and make it through the eye of the storm, because at the heart of it, there is hope between the both of you. Nobody's going to take from you what is truly yours, and that's really the belief in spirituality. You know, it's knowing that whatever is meant for you is always going to come towards you. So I think it's perfect today that we're doing the Taurus energy, because I think we all need to hear that right now. Love is coming towards those of you who have not been in contact. You are thinking of them quite heavily on your mind. It can even be remembering back to a family-related dynamic or a particular song, potentially a lot of base chakra, solar plexus, and sacral chakras coming up with the colors. But there is a lot of passion for this connection. There's a lot of love. And I'm being shown a song and a memory of an old time, but it's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing. It can be something that they did at one point that was quite trivial, but to you, you felt it was really romantic. Can even be in a foreign country, placed in a garden for some of you, but I'm seeing foreign country, or it had that theme going on, okay? Whatever's not abundant and holding you there, you know, try not to have the lack mentality, because you've got money in reverse, which is abundance, and heart chakra and your belief systems. Try to not get too triggered by just what's happening right now, because it's temporary. Anyone they potentially were in the past, that they see you've changed, they also may be looking at things very differently. They want the maturity of the energy within the connection as well as within you, from you. So their needs, wants, and desires have changed and evolved and grown. With the things you're directly investing in or your finances, you can be really stuck, okay? Some of the things you're using your money on may be lackluster. Food might not taste that good at the moment. You may be having simple cravings or different cravings. But you're wanting also the things that you're directly investing to really transform by 2020. So spiritually speaking, for those of you on a spiritual path, you feel with the things in which you had invested in before, you no longer could go back to that way of being. You also are thinking of a better way to do something, you know, reflecting back and going, okay, yeah, I've got the tools. Maybe you're feeling lack thereof. You're looking down at the 2 cups spilt. Try not to get too disillusioned, okay? Don't get stuck in that. Whatever hurdles you're dealing with right now, it is very temporary. With your work domain, it can be that you're doing too much. It can be that at the moment you spiritually feel, and this can be for twin flame soulmates as well as the Taurus energy alone, that you feel you are spreading yourself too fine, that you're dealing with too many situations, and it can feel very overwhelming at the moment. I hear you. We'll get there. Yeah. Wait the transit out. And I'm feeling by mid-month, your energy is going to be different when it comes to this lackluster energy. I'm also feeling as though you don't have to do everything, okay? So there's a falseness with this. It might be that you feel you're not getting anywhere. I'm feeling as though you are, okay? The little things you're doing are going to make a massive difference. The delays are there for a reason. So potentially, again, in the egoic experience, you may be feeling, God, I'm not getting anything done. I've got a lot on my plate, but I'm just not getting anything done. Go back to simplicity of writing things down. Very similar to what we experience in a retrograde season cycle. You get the note system down and start ticking the boxes of what you need to do. Don't leave 5-minute tasks to a later point, because things will crop up on you where you will feel overwhelmed. So start ticking those boxes. Like I mentioned before, you'll find the first 2 weeks of July, you've got that lackluster energy. You're meditating a lot, you're having trigger points coming up, you need to nurture yourself, you need to do things that are going to be good for you. Drinking fluid, especially for the crown chakra, anchoring into the 5-day, you're going to see things clearer. You're going to purge smoother, so to speak. Your green tea, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm giving you suggestions. What you do with that is in, your power. See that you're doing things that are going to help you spiritually. If it means going outside in nature and anchoring your energy in, do such. If there's too many problems on your plate, detach. Leave it for another day. The world will not end. And if it does, it's like, well, it was going to happen anyway. Okay, do you know what I mean? It's like, don't be so hard on yourself. With family-related dynamics, especially with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, Cancer connected to emotions, feminine energies, family, your psyche, your spiritual sense, your crown, especially being the Taurus frequency. You're making a sacrifice at the moment. You're feeling that something is taxing. Maybe you feel your spiritual sense is being taxed by this direct transit. Maybe you feel it's all family, no you. You feel you're in a mental prison. You feel you're giving too much to too many people, that it has been a huge burden and it's affecting your spirituality. It may have been there was more work on your side of the fence than another, and this has tipped the apple cart over, so to speak. You can't even think about it. It just feels like emotional bombardment. Okay, what else? What is the advice? Those that are older, let them learn. That's what's being shown to me, because it's got child in reverse. It may be you nurturing your inner child. It can also be getting your lower chakras balanced. But again, knowing that it's okay for you to have some time too, and for you to have trigger points, and being gentle with yourself through this transit. Some people are maturing in energy regardless. Some of the family-related dynamics are maturing and evolving and changing. Okay, you're trying not to be foolish when it comes to this. You're trying to be cautious, okay? Can also be where you feel regret. You're doing too much. It can be an absolute tower moment happening within the family where you just feel overwhelmed and overburdened by the situations going on. I do feel this is going to occur around a celebration, a birthday, and this came up in the last read. This can also be emotional stability after the dark, okay? So I feel by go into hermit mode, do something nice for yourself. Let me see what else is coming through. It's going to be the end cycle of it. Being the Ten of Swords, it is, there's no turning back. It looks messy. It can't get any worse than this. Let me put it that way. We're thinking potentially it's going to get worse, but it can't get any worse than this, because it is balancing out, and you're going to choose to focus on the things that make you happy. For those of you who have trigger points in depression, be very careful, especially with Neptune retrograde. Toxic energies can come up inside us if we're not anchoring our energy in. So we have to be looking after ourselves, doing correct things, getting help where we need it if we feel that our scales are off balance, so to speak. What you're not seeing, you don't know what to invest in at the moment because it feels like a shit show. It's very normal. You're trusting your intuition. Something is cycling out. As I mentioned at the beginning of the read, this is a very karmic cycle at the moment. You've gone from, the Fool card all the way to the World. something, this is meant to happen, okay? This can even be connected to your family, tribe, people, places, and things. It's causing a sensitivity, but it can be where you're having compassion for the direct individuals involved, but you also need to directly have compassion for yourself. I feel you're really intuitively sensing a lot of these changes. And there's two groups coming through really through this July transit. There's those of us who are very much, you know, on that spiritual path where we're seeing things in the 5D. We're seeing signs, synchronicities. We're trusting our psyche. We're working with the energies of universe and source. There's others that are very dense in the 3D, and we can jump back and forward in that, okay? So there's those of us who are very in the 5D that can still fall down into the 3D. If you can keep reminding yourself that this is for a reason, it's not set in stone, it can feel scary, it's going to change. It's going to keep you anchored in, okay? Any questions? And I need to try and not let these be too long, because if people look at the video and it's an hour when I'm answering questions, then they go, good God, that's a long video. Oh, Michelle, that's dedication for you. God love you. Now, are you parked in there to listen to me, or just, you know, to just have a bit of hermit time? I mean, because I'm down for either. Yes, Virgo next. Oh, let me see. What do we have on the agenda? I'm trying to go in. Where did I put the paperwork? I've started doing videos that I'm going to pre-record, and they're connected to numerology, our chakras and the planets, and pain body experience. So when you're getting triggered, you can literally go to that video and go, okay, these are my symptoms I'm having. So they'll be your go-to videos to get into alignment, understand what the numbers are coming through, what they're trying to tell you, and what's out of alignment, you know, because you can look at your body with your ascension symptoms. Retrograde, it's going to be heavier. You'll go through transits and ebbs and flows of it, and then you'll be moving forward, so to speak. So it's not wherever always lagging, but you'll understand the ebbs and flows of your biochemistry and what's going on with you. But you'll also understand what you need to do to get anchored in. That's good. The creativity had been coming through for 3 weeks, and I think that's one way, and something I had suggested in one of the videos, because I started doing that myself. I love art. I wanted to be an art teacher. And then an astronomer, and look what I do. I talk about astrology now. Who would have thought? That the creativity is another way of meditating, you know, because you're channeling out, you're pushing your energy, especially if you are not exercising, or you currently are not in a connection and you are not being intimate. You need to transmute that frequency into something healthy. So you're utilizing that creative force into something so it's a healthier way. Otherwise, if it bottles up inside you, it turns into anger and it transmutes out. So it's a healthier way to use your core energy field. Any other questions? And thank you for those of you who like the video. I appreciate it because it helps it get to circle around. Yes, Virgo will be the next, and then Capricorn. And that not, is it Capricorn? Yes, Capricorn. I will be back in 5 minutes, and I will do the, I've got to keep an eye on the time as well, because I have paperwork to take in at the end of the day. Or particular person's children won't go to school, and I've got to move my daughter to school now. She's very peeved at me. Due to bullying at school, there was a bit of an issue yesterday. That's why I didn't come back to you guys, because I had phone calls from the school. It's been going on for years now, and Mars put a foot down. Awesome. It's funny you mentioned crystals. Crystals and a psychic download have been coming to me lately, so I think we're guided to utilize our crystals at the moment. Definitely, it'll be good to really clear them of the Capricorn eclipse. If something breaks, it's served its purpose. Trust that. So assess the crystals, look at them, and really tune into what you're being attracted to at the moment, because it can be something directly that universe is wanting to say to you, potentially could be out of alignment. If you're needing any bath salts, chakra products, I may also be doing videos on how to make twin flame candles, because I have developed my own twin flame candles. They can be purchased on the shop. If you're in Europe, inbox me. Yes, I can ship them, but the video will be based on how to make them. They are aromatics that can help balance the energy. So if you are interested in that, give me a heads up. You'll see my kitchen. It wasn't very clean this morning. I apologise, because I had 3 towel moments in one day. But I'm going to be actually walking you guys through the process, and I do use them myself. So when you do the meditation, you know, for yourself or connected to your soulmate, twin flame energy, the aromatics, we know what aromatics do, especially with aromatherapy. And I only ever use organic oils, and I use soy-based wax, and that's for the candles that I have on the shop. They help you almost do your clearing. So you can use crystals, you can use the aromatherapy. So if you do want me to do a video on how to make the twin flame trio candles, give me a shout out and request it directly below the video once it's uploaded, and I will get onto that as well. But I'm going to do chakra-based videos. There's more coming. It's just this transition has delayed me. So it will be coming. You're going to have a lot of candy in the candy shop. Let me put it that way. I'll be back shortly. Love and light.